By now, you've probably seen the popular videos online of people trimming their dog's toenails while the dog licks peanut butter off of saran wrap off of the owner's head. I'm going to show you a way to trim your dog's nails without having to do that. It still involves peanut butter, except this time I've got it on my fridge. Here's my dog waiting patiently for his treat. And when you're all done with this, the peanut butter comes right off. By using just a general purpose cleaner, wipes clean off, doesn't leave any residue. You can also use spray cheese if needed, or maybe yogurt if your dog is not a big fan of peanut butter. To get started with this, have your dog in a downstay on their bed or tethered so that you can spread the peanut butter or cheese, whatever substance you're using, onto the surface so that the dog is unable to get to the treat before you're ready for them to. I've got the nail clippers ready in my hand. I release my dog and I point out the peanut butter on the fridge. And so what I'm going to start doing is touching his legs and feet. If my dog pulls his feet away from my hands, then I'm going to stop. I'm not trying to force him to let me hold his foot still. Typically, if we hold the dog more forcibly still, the more they will want to struggle against our grip. I encourage him to go back to the peanut butter. He twitches really hard away from my hand when I touch his back feet. And so what I start doing is stroking his back end and moving down to his feet right at the very end. My dog twitches and pulls his foot away pretty hard again. And so this lets me know that his rear end or his rear feet specifically are a problem area and that he's very sensitive. And so I want to especially take my time when I'm working on this rather than rushing through it. So I start at the top of the leg. I stroke all the way down to the foot. I try to touch his toenails with just my fingers, not even with the nail clipper. He's taking a break from the peanut butter. And I'm letting him take that break. He's backing away. This is giving me an indication that he needs a moment to think about what we're doing. And so I'm not rushing to encourage him to go back up to the peanut butter. I'm not calling him back towards me to try to touch his feet again. All of that's going to be counterproductive to what I'm doing. I'm trying to teach him to trust me and that I will go at his pace. When I think my dog's ready, I tap the refrigerator with the peanut butter on it and he goes back to it. So I go back to stroking him and touching his feet. And I'm going to see eventually if I can touch his nails with the toenail trimmer and whether he will pull his foot away from me or not. If he does pull his foot away from me, that's okay. That just tells me that I did a little bit too much too soon. I'll give him another break again. I'll let him sniff the clippers in my hand so that he can see what I've got. I'm not trying to hide anything from him. I'm not trying to be sneaky about this with him. He opts to go back in for the peanut butter. And so getting the peanut butter is a condition of me being near his feet. I'm going close to his feet again. I'm trying to touch his nails. I may only get one nail done at a time with this, and that's okay. But this exercise is about building trust with the dog and letting them understand that you are going at their pace. You're not going to force them into this. You're not going to hold them flat. And when we establish that kind of trust with our dogs, what usually ends up happening is that things go much faster for us because the dog learns to trust us and then they will let us do what we need to do rather than us forcing them into it. And so I'm able to get one nail clipped. He twitches. I go back to touch. I show him the little bit of nail that I trimmed. He likes to examine those things. And then I leave my hands open in my lap for him to sniff. Again, I'm not pointing him back towards the peanut butter. I put the clippers down completely. And he backs away more. He's giving me more indications that he is done with this game. And then he sits down. So this is his big time signal that he is over this. He's done. And so I'm not going to continue this exercise with him. If I do that, I'm going to ruin the amount of trust that I was just able to build up with him. And so instead, I'm going to call this a day for this activity. And we can come back to it tomorrow.